All right, this is Boxing with the Truth, and I am the Truth. Today is August 26, 2015, and today we have with us three-time world champion Greg Haugen. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing good. How's yourself?
Well, I'm doing really well. I appreciate you taking time to do the interview with us today. I just want to talk about your career a little bit, and for the new generation boxing fans, let them know who you are and what a warrior you were.
Well, I appreciate that.
So you did fight at lightweight, but you fought at super lightweight and lightweight, right?
Well, that's why I started at lightweight. Won a couple titles in lightweight and had trouble making weight. So I moved up to 140, and when Camacho was getting ready to fight Chavez, the battle of the undefeateds, and they picked me as a tune-up fight, and kind of went wrong for him.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, because that's a classic fight there. Your pro record actually is 40 wins, 19 losses, 40 wins, 19 knockouts, 10 losses, 1 draw, and 2 no contests, right?
Everybody's got it different. Some got it 43, 9, and 3. Some got it 40, 10, and 2. Actually, it's 43, 9, and 3 is what it is if you count the draws and the losses, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It ended up as 43, 9, and 10, or 3, but
okay.
I fought the very best guys out there at the time, and wasn't fortunate to be like Mayweather, where I could pick and choose my guys and talk and pick the easy guys and keep my record undefeated.
So I want to start out in the beginning. Your amateur record is, you have like 320 wins and 25 losses. Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, now you moved on from the amateurs. You actually went to the tough man competitions in Alaska, right?
Yeah, I moved to Alaska for a couple of years, and I fought up there in the bars and the tough guy contest. Fought guys up to 250 pounds.
So now then you become pro, and I want to talk about your resume a little bit, because, I mean, like you said, you fought some of the best in the game when you were in the pros. You fought Freddie Roach. A lot of people might not know Freddie Roach is a boxer, but he's one of the best trainers out there now. You fought Vinny Pazienza 3 times. You fought Pernell Whitaker. You fought Hector Camacho twice. You fought Ray Boom Boom Mancini. You fought Julio Cesar Chavez. You fought Paul, how do you say his last name? Nave? Nave 3 times, and you fought Jimmy Paul. I mean, yeah, nobody can argue with, like you said, you did not handpick these guys. You fought the best that were out there, and you gave a lot of these guys some problems, and you beat some of these guys. So, for instance, I mean, like you said, they handpicked you for Hector Camacho, thought you were going to be a warm-up fight, and you beat the guy.
Yeah, that I did, and I knew Hector only liked to fight, 1 minute, minute and a half each round, and like the bullshit the other minute and a half, and but I just went out to try to make him fight 3 minutes of every round, and by the 6th round he was dead tired, and I just forced him to keep fighting, and my plan worked. I knew that he was going to run out of steam about the 5th, 6th round, and he did.
And you actually gave him his first loss of his pro career, right?
Yeah. And then I fought him again in a rematch and beat him again, but they gave it to him. I don't know how, but they gave it to him in a split decision. But I clearly beat him better the second fight than the first fight. So, but that's in Vegas judges.
Now, was it the first fight or the second fight where he supposedly they claim that they took a point for not touching the gloves, but it was actually because he swung at you, right?
Well, yeah, it was the 12th round. They wanted to touch gloves, and I told them I didn't want to touch gloves with the faggot, you know, and pissed him off, and, you know, so he just, you know, you know, so I didn't touch gloves with him, and they said, you know, touch gloves, and I said no, and so he jumped in and tried to sucker punch me, and Joe Cortez took a point away from him, and, you know, let's say that's what got me to win, or else it would have been a draw. But it doesn't matter how I win, I won.
But now in the second fight, you say that he actually thought he lost that fight because he walked out of the ring and started walking back to the dressing room.
He left. They took a point away from him in this 11th round in that fight, too, for, you know, getting frustrated and not being able to hit me. And, you know, and after the fight, if you watch it, you watch him get out of the ring and walk back to the ring. And Dan Duva was actually the one that talked to me getting back in the ring because they had the judges in their pocket. So, you know, and they got in there and they gave him the fight. He was just as surprised as I was.
Tell me, how was that to fight Freddie Roach? A lot of people know him as an outstanding trainer, but a lot of people don't know about him as a boxer.
Yeah, Freddie Roach was 38-8. You know, let's go in my room. Yeah, he was 38-8, and he had more knockouts than I had fights. And they said he was going to knock me out. And I'd sparred with Freddie a few times in the gym, and you know, I know I was physically stronger than him. So I took the fight on 6 days' notice, and yeah, I ended up stopping him and finished his career.
So now Freddie mentioned something in an interview. I heard that how you used to spar a lot with Roger Mayweather. Tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, I sparred with Roger all the time, and you know, Roger was, you know, he was a pretty dirty guy. He'd like to, you know, sucker punch you in between rounds, and you know, or the bell would ring, and he would, you know, he'd come out and he wouldn't, or the bell would ring for the round to be over, and he'd fucking still hit me, and you know, and so it got to the point where I just finally said, hey, you know, enough's enough, and you know, so and you know, I knew I could beat him, and so you know, I knew I could beat him, and so I took the fight and finished his career, and then he became a big time trainer.
So it sounds like you finish his career, he becomes a trainer. You finish Freddie Roach's career, he becomes a trainer. You were weren't you like one of the last two fights of Ray Boom Boom Mancini's too?
Yeah, I was the last one, because remember he retired after Duke Camp, and then he'd taken a couple years off, and then he came back and fought Camacho to a close draw, or to a close fight. He thought he won it, so he ended up handpicking me as a challenger to win the title. And, yeah, so I finished him, too.
All right, so I want to bring up the Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Now, you've made comments before that you weren't basically 100% in that fight. Tell me about that.
No, I wasn't even 40%. I was going through a tough draw, a tough divorce with my ex-wife. I don't know. You know, I was training on cocaine and vodka, broken heart, had no desire to fight, and you know, I really regret that fight now, because if I had it all to do again, I know I could have beat him if I was in tip-top shape, and I wasn't. So that's the only fight I really regret now. But, you know, there was a lot of bad things said in that fight. You know, he was trying to embarrass me, and, you know, and told me he fought none but a bunch of Tijuana cab drivers and kind of beat him off. So, I just went in there to try to hold my own, but I was in no shape. The guy hit me, the first punch he hit me with took my legs away, and that was like the first time that ever happened in a fight that normally I'd be in such good shape that I'd be able to absorb one of those shots, but not that time, and, it cost me the fight.
Okay. So let me ask you something about all these guys. I mean, like I said, you've had the trilogy with Vinny Pazienza, Pernell Whitaker, Hector Camacho, Ray, Boom Mancini, Julio Cesar Chavez, all these other guys I mentioned too. Who's the toughest guy you ever fought?
I will try to say, Chavez was right up there, but there was a guy named Chris Calvin that was, the Southern Rebel, and he was a hard punching guy. He killed the guy before I fought him, and he was like 17-2 with 16 knockouts, and he was the first guy that hit me that, blasted me out on my feet, but I knew I got hit with the right hand, so I had to bend under that left hook, and I bent under it, and he barely missed me, and I grabbed him and shook it off, and at the end of the first round, I come back to the 1-2 of my own, and staggered him, and then in the 6th round, I finished him.
Okay. And now, Vinny Pazienza, do you guys have a good relationship now? Because I know those fights were kind of like wars.
No, I don't talk to him much. He's just big mouth clown as far as I'm concerned. Runs his mouth, got his steroids. You can't go from 130 pounds to 135 pounds to 175 pounds of pure muscle without it showing up.
Okay, now, at the end of your career, you fought Paul Nave. Is that his?
Yeah.
You fought him 3 times. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was a joke fight at the end of my career. That was a fight I fought in his hometown. In the first fight, I blew my right shoulder out, throwing an overhand right, and he was throwing a hook, and blew my right shoulder out, so I basically fought 11 more rounds with one arm, just jabbed him to death. And, and I still thought I won the fight, but they gave it to him because it was in his hometown. And, and then I got my arm repaired, fought him again, beat him up convincingly, got the title back. Then I fought him again a 3rd time, and they called it a draw, which I beat him up again in his hometown. But, after finding out that, I'm going to 12 rounds with a guy that I should be knocking out in 4 or 5 rounds, it's time for me to get out of it. Because boxing's not a fight sport you can be mediocre at. If you are, you're going to get your brain scrambled, and I don't want my brain scrambled. So,
Do you think Pernell Whitaker is the best guy you've ever faced?
There's no question. By far, hands down. I just decided that, it's in my best interest to walk away from it when I still had in my marbles enough sense to know that, I wasn't the fighter I used to be. And if I'm going 12 rounds with a guy like Paul Nave, I should be knocking out in 3 or 4 rounds, and it's time for me to get the heck out of it. And I did, and, I'm glad I did, because, there's a lot of guys out there that, are just, you see the repercussions of the fight game on them already.
Okay, so I know there was mention about a movie being made about you. What's going on with that? It's called Bleeding the Name, right?
Well, yeah, we're just shopping it around, trying to get it shopped around. But, it's a slow business, takes time. I think I'm going to have part of it rewritten by a professional writer. It was just written by one of my buddies that knows me. He's not, he lives down in Hollywood. And, so we just been shopping it around and trying to get it done. So, you know, it's just been a few years since I've been doing it. And I just got to find the right person, and, you know, as soon as I find the right person, just so that, you know, they'll have the money to back it, they'll do it. You know, the Southpaw just came out, and, you know, I think they have a better storyline than them, so, you know, it's just a matter of time, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, I want to bring up, I saw somewhere where you think that there should be a federal commission in boxing. Is that true? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do believe that. I mean, every state's different, and they all got different rules and regulations, and, you know, half the idiots who are in the commissions don't know shit. They're ex-professional, or they're ex-wrestlers, or, you know, they're wannabe fighters or trainers, and so now all of a sudden they're commissioners. These guys, you know, like referees, you know, these guys are the backbone of boxing, and, you know, these guys are the ones that can keep you from getting hurt. You know, and if you don't have somebody in there that knows what they're looking for and looking at, then, you know, you're going to get somebody hurt.
But you support autism, right? I mean, to help with autism. Tell me about that.
Well, my grandson has autism, so I try to do as much, you know, charity work and much fundraisers and just getting the word out there as possible. You know, because the fact that it's very rampant. I mean, you know, the government says it's like 1 in every 150 kids. That's BS. It's like 1 in every 35 kids. So, you know, it's just, you know, it's something that I support, and that I want to, you know, help get done. You know, and I find a cure for it. You know, I mean, it's just the more fundraisers and stuff I do, the more people I find that are afflicted by it, or they know somebody that is, or you know, it's just a bad deal.
So, do you have any involvement in boxing right now? Are you doing any type of training or anything like that?
Yeah, I got a couple guys that I'm working with right now. One of them just won the other night. I'm working with Pat McCleary, or Jeremy McCleary. You know, he's 7-1 now. He was 6-1, but I just started working with him last 2 months ago, and according to the promoter and the matchmaker, he's a whole new fighter. He's just improved on everything, and he looks good. And so I'm working with him, and I got another kid that you know, that's I've been helping out a little bit. His name's Michael Hale. He's just an amateur kid, but he's got a lot of ability. He's got a lot of athletic ability. He used to be a football player. He's about 160 pounds, and you know, so when he gets going, you'll hear from him.
Okay. Well, listen, I know you've been through a lot in your boxing career, and then you're helping other fighters and training other fighters. So I'm going to end the interview on this last question. If a kid came into your gym, what type of advice would you give him if he wanted to be a boxer?
Well, I just tell him it's a rough, tough gig, and you know, and if it's something that he wants to do seriously, he's going to have to be trained 100%. And if not, then you know, he's not going to make it very far. You know, I mean, it's something that takes a lot of hard work and dedication and training. I mean, you know, to me, the fighters are the best conditioned athletes out there. You know, I mean, bar none. So, you know, if you're in good shape for a fighter, you're in good shape for any sport. So, you know, I mean, it's just a matter of if he has the passion to do it. You know, a lot of these guys want to fight, and they all want to fight until they get hit. You know, and as soon as they get hit, it's a different story. They're just, I don't want to fight. You know, we'll see. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, I don't turn anybody away if they want to come in. You know, I'm really into the bullying campaign now, where there's a lot of bullies out there, and you know, I'd like to help kids, you know, that you know, are in school that just get bullied all the time, and we could put a stop to that. So I'm all for that.
No, I agree with you. That's a good campaign, man, and it's good to hear that you're behind that.
Yeah, nothing worse than bullying. You know, it's picking on kids that can't defend themselves. So I'm trying to help kids, you know, just be able to protect themselves, but not use it against anybody. But, you know, or have it if they need it, you know, and if you don't need it, then you'll still have it.
All right, well, listen, with that, I want to end the interview, and I want to thank you for taking your time. And if you want, go ahead and give a shout-out to your fans and your supporters for being behind you your whole career.
Well, yeah, thank you, everybody. And sorry I missed the other day. I was with my grandson, and I totally spaced it out. But, yeah, I mean, to all my fans and friends out there, keep watching, because you'll be seeing me soon in the corner with Freddie, just like Freddie Roach. You know, I've knocked Freddie out, so I'm just as good or better trainer than Freddie, so you'll see me.
All right, and with that, the truth has spoken.